Next, we have Paul Price. He's the co-founder of Top Dog Studios. He's going to give us a bit of a detail into NFTs that have gone missing. How do you find them? Where did they go? With that, I'll give it to Paul. Woo!
Hey guys, how are we doing? Nice to see some faces in here. I thought it was going to be empty after the last couple of nights. So I'm Paul Price, I'm co-founder of Top Dog Studios, and we started as an NFT collection, so we're very much rooted in NFTs. We sort of minted 8,000 NFTs, and then we've sort of transitioned into a Web3 agency over the last year or so, and we've grown the team to be now called Top Dog Studios. And there's really, I think, a bit of an issue with NFTs, which I want to, bring to light and talk about and have a discussion about. And that's millions worth of dollars of NFTs are disappearing forever. So if we sort of think about an NFT and what that is and what that represents and what's actually going on behind the scenes, you probably think, okay, digital asset, NFT, piece of art, some music, virtual land, whatever it may be, and it must be stored on the blockchain, and therefore it must be secure and permanent, and it's not going to disappear. But actually, there's a bit of a misperception there. So when you buy an NFT, you're effectively sort of getting a receipt. So on the blockchain side of things, you are saying that this wallet, I own this particular token ID on the blockchain. And whilst I think some of the biggest blockchains, so Ethereum, Bitcoin, will be around for at least our lifetimes, I think it will even be around for hundreds of years, it's not permanent, and things can go missing. So with NFTs themselves, what you are actually getting is that token ID on the blockchain, and then that token points to a special metadata file, and really that just describes what your NFT is. So it describes its name, its description, and then effectively the digital asset that you're actually buying is a link. So it's just a URL on the internet somewhere. And the reason for this is because blockchains are actually really inefficient at storing data. It's really expensive to store data on the blockchain. Has anybody heard of the NFT collection Cyber Brokers? A pretty big collection, fairly recent. They stored all of their art on chain quite recently, and it cost them $250,000 in gas fees to do that. So it's just not feasible to store art and the assets on the blockchain. So we have to store them on the internet. So if you're storing a file on the internet, if you're storing your digital asset on the internet, it's just a link. That link can be anywhere. It can be the Google Cloud. It can be the Amazon Cloud. It can be a Facebook post. It can be literally any link anywhere. And you have no control over that link. You have no control over that content. You are, essentially in the hands of those Web2 centralized platforms. So if Google or Amazon doesn't like that particular content, they can just delete it for whatever reason. If you think about the NFT team themselves, they might stop paying their hosting bill. So then that NFT, that link disappears. So effectively, your NFT turns into a very, very expensive 404 not found page. Now, we sort of have some solutions already to address this problem. I'm pretty sure most people have probably heard of IPFS. It's a very, very cool name, Interplanetary File System. And effectively, that is a decentralized way of storing any type of data. It's not on the blockchain, but it is fully decentralized. And actually, most projects, so if you brought an NFT, it's most probably stored on IPFS. The downside of IPFS is there's no incentive layer. So hosting files and computing power costs energy, which costs money. So people have to sort of, I guess, spend their own money to host your files. And those nodes in the system, people hosting your files, people hosting your NFTs, are not getting paid to do so. So at any point, they can effectively go, okay, I'm not going to host this anymore. There's something more interesting over here. And again, that can turn into a sort of 404 page, and your NFT just disappears forever. It goes into a black hole. We have sort of solutions for that. So there are two main ones, Filecoin, Arweave. They are blockchain-based, and they add the incentive layer in terms of tokenization. So they have a token which has value. Effectively, as long as that token has value, then those platforms will be running and hosting files and hosting NFTs. But we know that tokens can go to zero, so it's not really a fully permanent solution. So researchers and data scientists at the University of California carried out a study early this year in April. And they were looking at exactly how many NFTs are sort of disappearing and at what rate. And actually, it's quite staggering. So on the left here, we have how many NFTs that are on IPFS have gone missing. And out of their data set of 1 million, it's 4%, which is a hell of a lot more than it should be, but it's not too bad. So 4% of all IPFS NFTs have just gone missing. But on the right, you can see NFTs not stored on IPFS, so NFTs stored on Google Cloud or on Amazon Cloud or wherever, 56% of them have just disappeared forever, which is insane. Like, imagine if you paid $100, $1,000, $1 million for an NFT and then effectively disappears and loses its value. And because the blockchain is public and transparent, we can actually see the value of these transactions, and we can see how much has been traded across all of these missing NFTs. And does anybody want to take a guess how much in terms of millions have gone missing?
I was going to say 2 billion.
2 billion. Okay, I mean, it's not that bad, but it's a hell of a lot of money. $160 million has just gone missing in terms of traded NFTs, which is just insane. It's like $160 million worth of 404 pages. So monetary value aside, obviously, if you've invested, you're going to be quite upset. But actually, if we look behind the token, behind the NFT, it is effectively human creativity, it's human expression, it's art that somebody has taken their time to dedicate to produce that particular piece. It's virtual land, it's music, whatever it is human creativity and expression. And we think that should be protected and preserved. So I think we can do sort of, as a collector and as content creators and project owners, we can do better, essentially. So if we sort of start asking questions when we're buying an NFT or when we're investing or when we're creating, if you imagine buying anything really, like a car, if you spend $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 on a car, you're going to want to know, okay, what is its mechanical history? When am I going to have to replace the tires? When do the brakes need replacing? All these kind of questions before you replace. And I think we as collectors need to ask those similar questions about the NFTs we're buying. So where is my NFT stored? Is it on IPFS? Is it decentralized? Is it on Amazon? When are you going to stop paying your bill? And if you think about buying a phone or a laptop, you get a warranty. So you get a year or 2 year or 5 year warranty. I think we sort of need that with NFTs as well. Before you buy or invest, you should be getting a warranty that guarantees that NFT is going to be there forever. I'm a massive space nerd. Do we have any space nerds in the audience? Hell yeah. Does anybody know what this is? It is. It's the golden record. So this is this is the golden records that are on the Voyager 1 and 2 spacecrafts, and they were launched in the late 70s, and they're now billions and billions of miles away from Earth, out in interstellar space. And these disks contain something really, really special. They contain, you can see the name of it, the sounds of the Earth. and etched on them are the most sort of culturally significant sort of, I guess, history of humanity and Earth. So it contains what we know about DNA and human anatomy and reproduction and language and creative expression, basically everything in life as what we know to be on Earth. And they're intended for any intelligent life forms in thousands of years who finds them to sort of understand our planet, which is really cool and I think it's really beautiful. So we, TopDoc Studios, have sort of taken that idea and that concept, and we've created something called the non-fungible vault. And the idea is that we want to protect NFTs, we want to protect that art, that creative expression, that provenance information for thousands of years, so that can be enjoyed by future generations to come. So NFTs aside, it's art. We want to protect art. So we actually have created this, and it's a physical place. You can see on the left here, me and the team went out there last month, and it's inside the Arctic World Archive, which is a facility located in a decommissioned coal mine in Svalbard, which is the sort of northernmost part you can get in the Arctic. We're using a scheduled flight. And there's no other place like this on Earth. It's just incredible. It's the most amazing experience. But it's a purpose-built facility to store digital information and digital data for thousands of years. It requires no electricity. It doesn't require any maintenance, any support. And it's actually, Svalbard is the most geopolitically stable place in the whole of the planet. So the AWA already stores information such as manuscripts from the Vatican Library, scientific histories, political histories, art from different eras, from Bach, Munch, anything that is sort of culturally significant is already in here. And now we're storing NFTs and art and the blockchain provenance information in there as well. You can see on the bottom right there, that's some film, and that's how we store the data, so store the NFTs. We sort of etch it to celluloid film, so it's like an old 45mm old school photography film. And we know that's been around for 130, 140 years, so we know it has a really good lifespan, and we know it's really durable, and we think this can be an easy 2,000 years of safely storing data. And this is sort of some of the projects we've already partnered with. You might recognize some of the names. Some of them are really significant. So Curio cards were the first NFT on Ethereum, and they actually helped us define the standards that we know today, so ERC 721. And then we've got projects like Mooncats, who were the first on-chain generative art. And then we've got high-impact projects like Women Rise and the Flower Girls. And yeah, we just think it's really important to sort of save that. So we've partnered with all these artists and all these projects, and they're now safely stored in the vault for 1,000 years. I've got 2 minutes left, but what I'm going to do, does anybody know the Defiant, like a crypto channel? They're sort of a big crypto channel, and we're really good friends with them. And they followed us out to Svalbard, and we've sort of produced a mini documentary and a mini film about the adventure and the story and protecting art and provenance. It's 22 minutes long, so I'm not going to play it, but there's a cool little intro. It's like 20 seconds or so. So I'm going to play that. It's really cool. And then we should have a minute or so afterwards, so if anybody's got a question.
You watch it, right?
Yeah.
It's cool.
Pieces of art.
Even just purely from a sort of cinematographic and videography kind of point of view, watch it because it's an incredible film. I've got a minute left. Has anybody got any questions? All right. Thank you very much.